This will sound so nutty, but a weird thing happened in my house yesterday, and I was googling a way to find out if others had experienced similar, and my search results all recommended 2 Reddit subs, /r/glitch in the matrix and r/dimension jumping / I was reading a post on glitch, and I actually replied to the person with a weird similar experience, and then I saw that OP had posted on the same 2 subs, so that was neat. Anyhow, yesterday, when I woke up, there was a glass on my counter with a big crack in it and a chip on the rim. It's my son's favorite glass, and it already had a weird enough story. 2015, when my boy was 9, the glass fell and was damaged. My son cried when he saw it. He's neurodivergent, so it was a pretty big thing to him. It was a special glass, so it was memorable. I tried comforting him by telling him we have a second identical glass, so it's terrible, yes, but it'll be okay. I set the damaged glass aside to safely wrap before putting it in the trash, and then promptly forgot all about it until he brought it to me a few days later. Mom, the glass healed. My glass is all better. I feel like he must have grabbed the identical one and thought it was his, so I was like, eh. Until later, when I saw the identical undamaged twin still safely in the cabinet, and the now undamaged healed glass in my hand. I felt like maybe I was mistaken. I was actually creeped TF out, so I shoved it out of my mind. But I know what I saw yesterday. It's on the counter with the same crack and chip as it had in 2015 before it healed. I texted my now 20-year son who was out and asked if he dropped his glass, and he says no. Why? So I tell him about the crack, and there's a pause, and he asks for a picture, which I send. He says that's the same crack, the glass unhealed. Bleep. And when he got home, we talked about it, and he remembered perfectly and recounted the whole thing exactly as it happened back then. He does remember it being cracked and crying, and then both glasses being fine. He told me we have to keep it. We can't throw it out. If it happens again, then we have pictures. Well, no, and I can't begin to tell you how unsettled I was /him over that. There have been other weird things, but this glass experience is the one that made me look for others.